So students, continuing with the optical isomerism, we have seen it practically that how a compound is optically active in nature. Now theoretically we will see it that how a compound is optically active in nature. Alright, already we have seen it, practically we have seen it, that if the plane of polarized light rotates towards right, then it's said to be dextro. If the plane of polarized light rotates towards left, we say it as levo compound. Alright, we have seen it already. Now, what are the conditions then for optical activity? How do we say theoretically that the given compound is optically active? Write down the conditions. Point number one. Point number one is that the compound should have a chiral carbon atom present in it. Chiral carbon atom present in it. The compound should have a chiral carbon atom present in it. This is point number one. Now point number two. Point number two. The mirror image of the compound should not be superimposable. Mirror image should not be superimposable. The mirror image should not be superimposable. These are the two conditions. One is the compound should have a chiral carbon atom present in it. Okay, and the mirror image should not be superimposable. So you have to understand the word. Now see here, chiral, it is chiral. Now chiral has come from the word kher, H-E-I-R, means hand. Alright, for example, suppose this is a left hand, isn't it? You can see the left hand. Now I put it in front of the mirror. It will appear to you what? You can see it appear to you as right hand if I put it in the front of the mirror. Alright, so will the left hand and the right hand, will they overlap upon one another? Superimpose means what? When they overlap. Will they overlap upon one another? No, not at all. For example, suppose I have taken the letter H. I put it in front of the mirror, this H. It will appear to be this only. So they are superimposable. This overlap upon this, the image and the mirror, the what you can say object. The image and the object, they superimpose, they overlap. Suppose I have taken the letter O, I have put it in front of the mirror, it appears to you O only. So this overlaps upon this. The image and the object, they superimpose upon one another. So when the image and the object is superimposable, listen carefully, when the object and the image, they are superimposable, that means they overlap one upon the other. It is said to be as achiral. Achiral means it is which is not chiral. Which is not chiral. I will come to what is chiral. Which is achiral. Listen to the word first. And it is also known as what you can say, that is known as symmetric. When the image superimpose upon the object, they overlap. It is known as what? Achiral. It is one word. It is not a and chiral is not a different word. It is one word. Achiral. It is said to be. Which is not chiral. Means the image superimpose upon the object. Means it is having a mirror image. Got it? Clear now? Now next is, it is also called as symmetric. The other word is symmetric. We can say that. Clear? When the image superimpose upon the object. But if it is not superimposing, for example, where it will not superimpose. For example, let us take a letter P. Put it in front of the mirror. Let me write a bigger one. Put it in front of the mirror. It will appear to you as this. Let us say a Q, it appears to you. Alright? In this way. So in this way, this is not superimposable. As I said you, if suppose you are having the pocket on the left side, if you stand in front of the mirror, it appears to you right side. Suppose you are having the left hand globe. Can you wear it on the right hand? That particular globe? No. Because the left hand and the right hand, they do not overlap upon one another. You cannot wear the left hand globe on the right hand. You cannot wear the left socks on the right what you can say on the right leg. Can you wear the left socks on the right leg? You cannot wear it. Alright, so they are not superimposable. So when the mirror image is not superimposable, it is said to be what? Chiral. So what are the two conditions for a compound to be optically active theoretically? The compound should have a chiral carbon atom and the mirror image should not be superimposable. That means the mirror image should not overlap one upon the other. The image should not overlap upon the other. Should not. Listen carefully. It should not. That means it is not symmetrical. Here this image is not symmetrical over the object. It is not symmetrical. Got it? Clear? Achha. Now we come to the word chiral. What do you mean by chiral? Chiral carbon atom means when one carbon atom is attached to 4 different atoms or groups. 4 different atoms or groups. That is said to be as a chiral carbon atom, and it's represented by an asterisk mark over it. Over the carbon atom we put an asterisk mark. Correct? So in this way, when one carbon atom is attached to 4 different atoms or groups, it is said to be as a chiral carbon atom. This is said to be as chiral, 4 different. Alright, now let me take an example. And remember students, you have to give an asterisk mark. If the asterisk mark is not there, it is wrong. Now see here. For example, I am taking here CH3. I am taking here, that is nothing but OH. And I am taking here H, and I am taking here COOH. Alright, so this is called as lactic acid. This is known as lactic acid. Now let us take the mirror image of it. What it will be now? We are not interested with the bottom and the top. We are interested only with the left and the right. Alright? Because what I said you, if the given compound is optically active, it will rotate either towards right or towards left. So we are interested only with the left and right. We are not interested with the bottom and the top. Mind it. No. So don't say that the C will appear this. So this C, when the image will come, it will appear this. 3 will appear this. No, I am not talking of that particular thing. Understood? Clear? I am not interested with that. So next is what we will see is here. This is CH3 will remain. This is COH as it remains. Here what it happens is that H, and here it is OH. You can see it here. See, this H, this OH, it is there. It comes this side and H comes this particular side. The image. What is this image? Now this image, you put it over the object. Will it superimpose? Will it going to overlap upon another? No. So hence we say the mirror image should not be superimposable. Got it now? What is the mirror image? So this is the object, this is the image. We got it. We are interested only with the right and left. Don't say the C will appear this, O will appear this. No, I am not interested in that. Alright, just I am interested in the right and left only. Repeatedly I am saying you, right and left. So in this way, that is, we got the image of it. Clear? This is a lactic acid, this also is a lactic acid. Now this is a levolactic acid and this is a dextrolactic acid. How do we come to know? Just to compare the molecular weight of the right and left. Here in the right side the molecular weight is more. This is 16, oxygen atomic weight is 16 plus 1 17, and this is 1. This is 1 and this is 17. If in the right side is more, it's just like a bin balance, okay? If the right side is more, so it is going to go towards right. That means it is going to rotate towards right. If the left side the weight is more in the beam balance, then what you will find is that the beam is going to move down in the left. That means it is going to rotate towards left. Here also same thing. How do we know theoretically it is dextro and levo? Very simple, just to compare the molecular weight. If the right side molecular weight is more, then it is known as dextro. If the left side the molecular weight is more, it is known as levo. Because if its right is more, then it is going to rotate towards right. If left side is more, that means it is going to rotate towards left. In this way we determine which is dextro and levo. Clear now? In this way, there are many more examples. We can give the example of mandelic acid. We can give, instead of CH3, we will take C6H5. We can give the example of malic acid. Malic, M-A-L-I-C. It is not malic. In stereoisomerism, in geometrical isomerism, you have studied malic, M-A-L-E-I-C, malic. Here I am saying you malic, M-A-L-I-C, malic acid. Malic acid is what? You will be having carbon atom in between, in the center. Here you will be having CH2COH, here OH, here H, and here you will be having, that is nothing but CH3 group. Alright, in this way. That is said to be as malic acid. Clear? So in this way, many more compounds will be there. Just you have to remember it that the compound should have a carbon atom in the center, and the carbon atom is attached to 4 different atoms or groups. Only 4, not 3 or 2. Don't think it will be 3 will do. No, it will not do. 2 will do. No, it will not do. Only 4. Then only it is said to be chiral. So hence, what are the, what you can say, necessary conditions? Got it? So what is the necessary conditions we got it? That it should not have a plane of symmetry. Means if it is not symmetrical, I said you know, if it is not symmetrical. What I said you, the mirror image should not be superimposable. That means the mirror image should not overlap upon the object. That means it is not symmetrical. So which is not symmetrical is called as what? What is known as asymmetric. Desymmetric it is said to be as. Which is not symmetrical. If it is symmetrical, then it is said to be as achiral. And if it which is not symmetrical, which is known as desymmetric, is known as what? Chiral. Understand it properly. Chiral means desymmetric, means which is not symmetrical. And if it is symmetrical, it is known as achiral. Got it now? So it is desymmetric. Got it? Now we'll understand it. This desymmetric means what? Clear? Let us say this is one carbon atom. This is A, this is B, this is C. Let us say this is another carbon atom. Let us say here it is C, here it is B, and here it is A. Now if I draw the line of symmetry here, will this overlap upon this one? Is B going to overlap upon C? Is C going to overlap upon B? No. So here it is not symmetrical. Here this part will not overlap upon this, or this part is not going to overlap upon this. Mind it? Fine. Now next, let us say here it is A, here it is B, here it is C. Let us say here it is B, here it is C, and here it is A. Now you see here, this is the plane of symmetry, because this is going to overlap upon this, this is going to overlap upon this, this is going to overlap upon this. So this is the plane of symmetry. Here we don't have any plane of symmetry. Here we don't have. Listen carefully, see carefully. Here this is not going to overlap upon this. This is not going to overlap upon this. Got it? So we don't have a plane of symmetry. Sir, you will say this is going to overlap. So what? The other two. Everything should overlap, na? Not one element. Here one element is overlapping, but the other two elements they are not overlapping. So it cannot be symmetrical. So here all the elements are overlapping. All the elements they are overlapping. So it is said to be as what? This is, we are having a plane of symmetry. So if there is a plane of symmetry, then the object is, what is that? Said to be symmetrical. If we are having a plane of symmetry, then the object is symmetrical. Then it does not show optical isomerism. It will not show optical isomerism. Got it now? Now next. After that, it should not also have a point of symmetry. Neither it should have a plane of symmetry, nor it should have a point of symmetry. Point of symmetry means, suppose this is an object is there. What is the point of symmetry? We will draw imaginary line. We will draw imaginary line in this way, imaginary line. And you will see that the imaginary line meets at a particular point, this point. And this is equidistant from all the point. Is it equidistant? No, not at all. This point should be equidistant from all the point. Is it equidistant here? No. This and this line are the same. Or this and this line are the same? No. So this point is what? It is not symmetrical. If it will be symmetrical, listen carefully. If it will be symmetrical, if you will have a point of symmetry, then it will be equidistance. So where we will have a point of symmetry? In this object. In this object. You have read in maths this one. Here this is the point of symmetry. Here you will see all the distance. Let us name it as A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. So here let us say O, OA, OB, OC, OD, OE, OF, OG, OH all are equal. So hence this is the point of symmetry. So again I repeat, if a given compound is optically active, it should not have a point of symmetry. It should not have a point of symmetry, and it should not have a plane of symmetry. Understood now? Thank you very much.